October 20th on a Monday. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Woohoo! Yesterday, I started making the trusses. Then the rain came, so I had to get out of here. So, this morning, I got up here at the butt crack of dawn and decided, let's finish up the trusses. So, I already cut my mock up all to pieces because I don't need it no more. But there be 1, 2, 3 trusses. Ready to go to town. Yay. So, I figured out, I was kind of pressing on the 2 tops here and they kind of wobbly and stuff. So, I have to go back to what I did when I was building houses. If you're going to have a vaulted ceiling, you got to have a beam in there. So, through them little holes on the top of these trusses, through those little holes, I'm going to go cut a tree about 15 foot long. And what I'm going to do is, I'll bring it in here. I'll put a strap. I'll just tie a strap up and hang it down just a little bit, right? Over here. I'm going to feed it through all 3 of those trusses, right? Now, the back truss and the second truss will hold that. No problem. Then I'll walk the first truss up to where it's going to go. And I'll suck it in on the little cross beams. Now, what I mean by cross beams, let me put this one back up here real quick. About where it goes. Okay, that's good. Okay. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a cross beam. I have gonna have 4 on each side. One down a little bit below that one. One up right around in here. Somewhere right around in here. And the next one's gonna be way up on top. Okay? It's gonna be way up there. And they just go across. Okay? This one here is going to be down just a little bit. Now put one here, put one over here, right in here, and one down there. And the reason why I've got them staggered up there to down there is because when I get the roof boards on, they will go up past, and then the other ones will fit underneath them. So I got to have room to screw them down. So anyways. That's the plan, Stan. Now I got to put up where this one is at right here. I'm going to move it up to the next slot where I'm going to have it at. About halfway. And about halfway over here. That way, after I put this deal in here, the beam, and then start walking these trusses this way. I've already got it marked out where these trusses are going to go on the logs. So once I get it to where it's going to go, I'm going to tie a rope on the top. Or it's going to go off the middle part. Right? Let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to tie a rope on this. Then I'm going to go around the back side and hook it through the center part of this, right? Tie it off here, go through the center, and bring it down, and I'll weight the rope. And what that's going to do for me is when I'm trying to put the trusses up straight, that'll be my up and down gauge, where the truss will either be this way or this way, but that string, when it comes down and hits that middle board, right, The truss should be just about straight up and down. And then I'll take where this little cross beam is, run a screw through it, and it'll hold the truss up. Now I'll do another one on the other side just to hold them up, okay? After that's all said and done, we get all the trusses put in place. I've still got a log here hanging. I'm going to drill a hole somewhere up in there, wherever this log falls out. Drill a hole, and then I'll spike right through the center of it, both sides. That way, if the wind shifts or anything, the trusses are all going to be stable. This is going to be stabilized across. So if I have anything like fall on the roof, like a tree or something, the whole thing's not going to go, it's not going to go, right? All of it fall down. These little cross beams are going to have a little bit of a job holding this thing straight. The trusses are going to hold it straight. The beam's going to hold it straight. And when I get done, this little top shouldn't wobble at all. So that's what's going to go on for the rest of the day. I'll get the beam. I'll go cut a beam up. I just got to make sure it's small enough. Well, big enough to fit in that hole. It looks like it's going to be about 4 or 5 inches. So I want to get one end about 4 or 5 inches, which will probably be this end. And I'll put the little smaller end over there, but it shouldn't be that much smaller. That way I can walk these this way as the beam gets bigger. I've got to go get a straight tree. There's a few of them around. I've been looking at a few of them. So as straight as I can get it, that way that beam will be there. And just for gits and shiggles, I could potentially, I'll drill some holes and countersink some screws and screw them onto the beam. That way it stabilizes everything else. So the next matter is putting on the roof. Now, these little cross beams have got to be thick enough to hold my stupid ass up there, because I'll crawl up on top and I have to crawl up like 2 or 3 of them to get up to the top one, so I can get the board right, measure it down, make sure that I'm all right and tight with what I want to do. And I'm also going to run probably a string line across over here. That way when I get the board in there, when I get the board up there, I'll take and measure on the backside from where it's cut down to that string. And I'm going to have probably 3 to 4 inches overhang, depending on how it looks. So that's why this side over here, I'm going to put this one to the top. This side over here is going to go down, because with that 4-inch overhang, I'm not going to be able to get the drill with the screws to go in there. So I've got to make a little bit of adjustment. I'll see how tall that is. And this little beam right in here, this one, right? This one that goes right here, it goes across. That one will be the last one I put on before I put this side boards on. That way I know how far that thing is, and whether or not, I can get the cordless drill in there to screw all these things down. But once I get these trusses in and the top done, right, I've still got to put on the roof boards, which I have to go cut. I have to go cut lumber, and it's going to take a few days. And here we are, the 20th of October. So once I get this done and get all these the long log pieces, these right here. Once I get them all put up, and I might just go ahead and put this top one here, the one that's down a little bit, I'll just go ahead and put that there, and I could have like 3 or 4 inches to go up in there. No big deal. I'll put them all on. Once I get that done, I have roof boards put on, chinking, and finish the chimney. Now I have to finish the chimney before I put the last boards over here, because I don't know where this chimney through here, I don't know where it's going to live and how big around it's going to be. And I've got to cut a board to fit that. So wherever that's going to live at, that's where it's going to live at. But for the most part, I think the cabin's looking good. I still got to cut the door frame up a little bit more. I could leave it like that, but I want to cut up at least one more, right? And then I'll get the door in. I've got to straighten that out down back there. But when I do that, I'm going to cut a board. And it's going to be as straight as I can get it. Actually, I'm going to cut. This will be between 5 and 6 foot. So the first board I cut, I might screw it up just a little bit, but I'm going to nail it up, just temporary nail it up, and get it straight right along here, like it'll on the other side. I'll nail a board up like right here, straight up and down, and I'll cut these little things down, even the bottom log, to where it's all straight. Do the same thing with the other one, to where it's all straight. And then I'm going to trim this bottom right here, and the top will be trimmed also. That way I can put my kickboard in, my headboard in, then my sideboards, and I'll screw them into the logs, because it'll all be flat. There will be a little bit of overhang, which I'm going to put to the inside. I can make the boards small, so there's not that much overhang. But I've got to put a door on it, so I need a little bit of overhang to put the door hinges on the inside. Because when I put the door in, it's going to open to the inside. It will miss the roof, or it'll only go so far before it hits the roof. And that's where it's going to live. So, the back side there, I will have that open to the outside. That way, when I throw stuff in here, I'm not going to wreck it. But when I shut it, it'll have an inside lock. That way, there will be no locks or anything in there, and I'll put the hinges to the inside. No biggie. And when I put hinges on there, it's going to be heavy-duty hinges. Yay! So, plan for today, since I just got finished doing the trusses. Let's go find a log. I got to measure that out first, the holes, make sure that I got something that'll fit. And we'll stick that up there and see how it all goes. Might even do like a little short video, like a time lapse, where I'm moving real fast on how to do this stuff. So, it'll be moving the trusses and trying to get them where they live. Get them all screwed down and stuff. Yes, a lot of things live around here, including wildlife, including idiots like me that just can have fun and build a cabin. Like I said, I'm trying to show you as much as I can about building one of these things. It's just, like I said, this is just going to be a fun cabin. So, I mean, it's not to live in. I could. I mean, potentially I could. That would be like really roughing it. I'd have to get a lot more wood for the winter, which I'm going to be doing anyways because of hunting season. And then I want a bunch of wood in here to keep dry throughout the winter, because I will come up here and camp through the winter. You know, a couple days here, a couple days there. I've got nothing better to do. But no, this is just for hunting and for camping. Now, I'm going to be into November, which is gun buck season. I will lay off the cabin for a little bit. Now, getting the moss around here, if it snows, the moss doesn't die. The snow will just go on it, and all I got to do is crawl around some slick-ass slopes. But I'm going to do that in a few days. Once I get the trusses in this beam set, I think I'm just going to go ahead and go get a shit ton of moss and then start chinking this thing. Because the roof, I got to cut a shit ton of boards, and that's going to be 3 or 4 days. Now, after I get the roof on, I can finish up the chimney and the front part of the fireplace, get it all mudded up. And once that's all done, basically this is finished. All I got to do is put some stuff in here and make the doors. I can do that during hunting season. After the first of the month, I'll get all the stuff to make all this stuff, and we'll get it done. But yeah, I'm going to be working probably into November on this stuff, but I want to get all the boards and stuff cut before gun buck starts. That way when I'm up here, I can take a day and just be putting the boards on, screwing them down. And then at a later date, whenever I decide to, I'll snap a string line on the end, get them all cut to size, both sides, and the downhill side is going to be a bear, because I'm going to have to stand on a frickin' ladder or climb up on the roof, which is, I don't know if I want to do that. I'd have to stick a board in there to where I could walk on it, but and cut it all straight. Or I can do that in the spring. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it looks all wobby-jobby, as long as it's a roof covering the head. And it's waterproof. So, if I cut them all at 8 foot, they shouldn't be that much off. Cut the logs straight on both ends, and then cut the boards out, which will be about an inch, inch and a half thick. Because it's the only thing it's going to hold is a little bit of snow weight, rain, possibly a bunch of limbs that might come down out of the trees, because I still have a bunch of trees around here. That's why I wanted it that way, a little bit of shade. I've been trying not to cut trees too close, but I have done that. I kind of cleared a little bit of this out. That way I've got some nice places to look at these deer trails and let them go up. But during November and stuff, I'll be putting the chimney together. The front end of this, yes, is going to be cold, and it's going to be a bunch of mud. I will probably go on through 8 gallons of water a day. I've still got like 5 gallons up here. I've got the other little container I have to take down and fill up. So when I do start mudding and getting this chimney going, yeah. And the last thing I'll put on is 1 or 2. It's probably just going to be 1 end board over here, because I got to cut it around where the chimney is going to live. And I'll show you how I'm going to do the chimney. I've got some ways to stabilize it as it goes up so it doesn't shift either way. But anyways, here shortly I'm going to be cutting a log, and then I've got to get it set up in here. When I get the first truss up, basically I know where that's going to live and where I can spike it and drill it and everything. But I'm going to get all 3 trusses up, and then it'll be floating in the middle. Then I can move it around in case I hit a spike, right? if I drill and there's a spike there, I can move the drill point over and drill through there and just shift the log just a little bit over. No biggie. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It's just I want it to stabilize everything. And then when I get it in, then I'll probably drill the trusses into it so they don't move at all. And it will really stabilize this cabin. So children, that's what I'm going to do today. I got no rain in the forecast for a while. And yesterday it rained. It rained. We got probably an inch of rain. And so all the mud holes I was coming through were a little deeper today. And on the four-wheeler, gets kind of muddy. But that's the way I like it. So, anyways, I got to sweep this place up and go find a log. I've got sawdust all over the place from where I've been cutting the trusses because I did them in here. So I've got to sweep and clean this place up so I'm not tripping over little pieces of log that I cut off, such as this little piece here. Stumble and hit my head or something. I don't want to do that. So anyways, I'm out of here. So, see ya.